Hi, welcome to Wendy B TV. I'm super excited to introduce our first guest tonight, a very special friend of mine too, Nata Mason. And Nata has this most amazing tea lounge, Trend Tea, and I know she's going to share a lot more about what brought you into the tea business, so to speak. So, Nata, how long have you first been drinking tea or been obsessed with tea and learning about tea?
I've been obsessed with tea since I was a little girl because I don't drink coffee and I don't like caffeine that much. So I try to stick to teas that have very little caffeine in them. Also, I just travel a lot, so that's where I love my passion for teas. Is I travel and find different teas that I like, and that's what started a long time ago. But I started my company 4.5 years ago.
So you travel a lot. Any special part of the country?
Where it all started really was California and San Francisco. I went to so many tea bars and tea shops, and I love that atmosphere of sitting and being able to taste different teas, and not like a fancy tea, but more of a funky, fun, sitting at a tea bar kind of place.
Like a hangout.
Like a hangout.
Kind of like a bar, but a tea bar.
Yeah, like a tea bar. And so in California, they were everywhere, especially like in Chinatown there and stuff like that. But everywhere you went, there was tea. And on the way home, on my flight home, I drew out what my tea place was going to look like and what I was going to do.
Oh, so you actually used the power of visualization.
Yes.
And you started thinking about it. So you experienced it and
Yes.
you loved it and you were like, I want to do this.
Yes.
So you started to map it out. And so that's interesting because most people, when they think of tea, they do think of China. They think of the Chinese tea, but you experienced something different in California, where it was kind of like a movement, a social movement.
Right, that's I mean, everybody, it's the new thing in California was so many different tea places, and not what you imagine, the old-fashioned, more of the fancy high tea.
High tea.
And I love that too. It's just I like more of the loungy tea bar.
Okay, so that's what we think high tea. What is that?
High tea is in the afternoon, and the English have high tea, in the afternoon, and it was invented for people to have something in the afternoon to keep them full before dinner. So they would have the little mini sandwiches and the little mini snacks and their little bit of tea to keep them from being hungry,
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
In between.
It is nice.
And it's so social.
Yeah, and that too. They love that, the social time.
So you started to learn about teas, and I know so many of our viewers probably have started to experience tea or have questions about tea. So just from a top line view, for someone who doesn't know anything about tea, what are some of the basics?
Oh gosh, well what we know is mostly the tea bags, and we do the loose leaf tea.
Lipton tea.
Yeah, the Lipton tea. So everybody knows that, the Lipton tea. And now it's gotten to the point where it's more of a loose leaf tea, so it's really fun and different. And just so the glasses that we have today.
Nata brought us tea.
These beautiful glasses. But this is a fun way to make loose leaf tea. So you put your tea in here in your hot water.
So that's what it means by loose leaf.
Loose leaf is not in a tea bag. And you get so much more flavor from loose tea instead of what's in a tea bag. So you're getting the whole leaf of the tea, and when you brew it and you steep it, you really taste a difference than what you taste in a tea bag, because a tea bag has dust in it. It's called little fannings. So it's what's on the bottom of all this beautiful tea is what's on the bottom, and they stick it in a little tea bag, and that's what you're getting in your tea. Okay. So it's a big difference.
So what kind of tea did you
This is a silver needle white tea. So this is
silver needle white tea.
Yeah, it's a very high-end white tea. It grows, this is from the Fujian province of China. What else? It does have a little bit of caffeine, this one, even though I said I don't like caffeine too much, but it is so healthy for you because it's very good for anti-aging, anti-stress.
Anti-aging?
Belly fat, yeah.
Belly fat? Okay,
yeah,
can we pour them?
Yeah, so just pour right into your cup.
And so how long? How do you know when's the right pouring time on that?
Well, we just put it in right before we started. It really is just a couple minutes, usually about 3 minutes. It might be a little strong for us, but... And the nice thing about this tea is we can keep putting hot water in it and brewing it over and over.
Okay,
So
cheers. Okay, after we take a taste. So you mentioned this is a white tea. It's delicious, and it's nice and light.
It's light.
So it's refreshing. So this is a really nice summer tea.
Very, and it's nice cold too. You can drink it hot, but iced is very nice too.
Oh, Oh, so I can see that.
Mhm.
And so, what's the difference between a white tea, a green tea, and a black tea?
Okay. All tea comes from the same plant. It's called the Camellia sinensis plant. And it grows in India and in China, in Japan. I mean, it grows in a lot of different places. It's all the same plant. And so it's the way that it's processed is the way they change the thing of the tea. So white tea is just picked and withered. And then a green tea is picked, pan-fired, or steamed. In Japan, they steam it. So each way is a little different, but it's the same tea. It all comes from the same plant, Camellia sinensis. So, and same with black tea, it's just oxidized more.
Is that why this one is lighter?
It's very light because all they did with this white tea was pick it and wither it. And it's very light and like peachy, right? I taste a little peach and a little fruity.
Yeah.
And it's just from, yeah.
Yeah, it just has like a little burst in your mouth,
Yeah.
like in your taste buds. And so what are the differences in the health benefits? So is it green tea that's supposed to be super healthy for you?
Yes.
Or is there...
Well, they say that green tea is, and I do believe green tea has probably the most antioxidants, but you know, if you drink oolong tea, has tons of antioxidants, and even white tea. I mean, I'm partial to white tea. I just love white tea. But all these teas have tons of antioxidants in them. The benefits that change are maybe like in a black tea, it's better for your heart. They say the black tea is good for keeping your heart healthy or lowering your cholesterol. Where the green teas and the oolong teas and maybe the white teas are more tons of antioxidants for fighting cancer and fighting different things.
So when do you recommend like drinking tea in the morning, drinking tea? Is it something that you can do right before you go to sleep at night?
Well, I drink tea all day, but yeah. You can start in the morning with like a black tea and then move on throughout the day. And then afternoons, I recommend like the rooibos teas from South Africa because that's just an herb and that way you're not getting the caffeine before bed. And even for nighttime, like the chamomile mints and the chamomile lavenders are nice, or any kind of fruit tea blend that has no tea leaf in it. So it doesn't have the Camellia sinensis plant. It's a different kind of tea.
Okay, so you are a tea expert.
No,
for
I don't know about
sure.
that.
And so I know that when I'm in Trend Tea, which is in the Wyndham Hotel, which is an amazing boutique hotel in Boca Raton that's known now for health and wellness.
Yes.
And so I've tried so many different teas, and I'll usually ask you, like, what do you recommend? And you've gotten to know that I like a berry tea, and just recently I had a mango tea that was just so different. It was kind of a blend between having something that is like really bad for you, like a sweet kind of thing, like without like having a cupcake or a piece of cake.
Right, it's like dessert. It takes the place of dessert sometimes, tea. I definitely think that that's a great way to explain it. In the afternoon, you can have something with a mango, pineapple, papaya, orange, and it feels like you just had this sweet, yummy treat with barely any calories in it. It's just what came off the fruit that you're getting.
Well, you read my mind because I was going to ask you how many calories are in this?
Well, when I researched it so much, and like there's really no calories, especially like the tea. I mean, there's no calories in the tea.
All right, I'm going to keep drinking if there's no calories.
And that's a nice thing because if you drink tea, it keeps you full in between meals. And if you're really, really hungry for something, like sometimes drink a cup of tea and it helps get rid of that, like especially our skinny tea.
So a diuretic, so to speak. So if you're drinking the tea, because most people like are reaching out for something just
sweet,
to choose something, to drink something, and that way they stay filled, and they also feel satisfied, and also know getting a health benefit along the same lines.
Right. That's what's so great about tea, and it's been around for so long, so it's not anything new that we have to talk about the benefits really, because people really know the benefits of tea, and it's all there. It's all been proven and everything. So now it's like, just drink it. That's what I tell people. You just have to drink tea, and it will keep you healthier. It keeps like the colds away. It really does. Like, because you're, I don't know.
Well, you associate drinking tea when you're not feeling well, if you have a sore throat, that it's soothing, it calms you, it brings a sense of peace.
So instead of drinking it when you feel that already, like I tell my children, drink it every morning before school, like have a cup of tea, and I promise the germs will stay away because the antioxidants are so high in all the teas. And it can go from the rooibos tea to, we had tulsi from India the other day. It's an herb that grows in India, and I made that for them in the morning. And that is so good to keep germs away, like when you're drinking that tea, and it keeps you alert, and it's good.
Focused, alert, health benefits, you feel good, it's calming. Tea is amazing.
It
So
is.
how can our viewers find you?
Well, we're in the Wyndham Hotel on the second floor at 1950 Glades Road. And we're open every day from 6:30 in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So you can get a cappuccino.
Yes, and we have lattes
Or
and
yogi
cappuccinos.
tea.
Yes, and everything's locally brought in. So we have tons of yummy desserts, healthy desserts, and yummy desserts. We have both, and it's all brought in locally, so it's nice.
And it's a great place just to meet a friend
Yes.
or a business colleague. And enjoy a cup of tea.
Nice and
Be able to
relaxing.
tap into like you as a resource and learn so much more about tea. Is there a website?
Yes, www.trendtea.com.
Trendtea.com.
We're on Facebook and Twitter.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
being
for
on the
having
show
me.
tonight.